Brazil has a looming economic problem. Its massive pre-salt oil fields off the southern coast are maturing. Production is peaking. To prevent their primary national export from shrinking in the coming years, they need to find entirely new sources of crude. This map shows Petrobras's strategy. They are shifting exploration north to the equatorial margin, sharing the exact geology that turned Guyana into an oil powerhouse. In August, they hit the Morpho well, sitting isolated 175 kilometers off Amapá State. Securing the country's economic future required pushing their drilling capabilities into a completely unproven and highly remote geographic frontier. On August 14th, the news broke. Petrobras confirmed the first traces of hydrocarbons off Amapá, discovered by this drill ship operating on the open ocean. This diagram shows the staggering vertical scale of the operation. The drill ship is sitting above 2,800 meters of water, sinking a bit to reach target zones nearly 6,000 meters beneath the seabed. The triumphant press releases missed a crucial piece of context. Finding traces of oil deep beneath the ocean floor is an entirely different reality than possessing physical barrels of crude ready for the global market. Between the headline-grabbing discovery and the day a tanker actually exports that oil, there is a billion-dollar, decade-long gap in reality. The Petrobras announcement cited electrical logging and rock data. That simply means digital sensors descending through the borehole detected the chemical presence of hydrocarbons. It is in no way a declaration of commercial viability. Drilling operations are actively ongoing right now. No commercial volumes have been calculated, and absolutely no tank capacities have been published. To even figure out the actual size of the accumulation, Petrobras must first drill a series of appraisal wells to map the exact perimeter of the field. A positive reading on a digital sensor log is an interesting piece of scientific data. A physical barrel of oil in a holding tank is a commercial asset. At this exact moment, the Morpho well is nothing more than a geological proof of concept. It guarantees zero economic return. This radar map of the Foz do Amazonas basin illustrates the next hurdle. There are 0 subsea pipelines. There are no connection points and no existing platforms. The ocean here is completely empty of production infrastructure. This specific basin sits directly off the mouth of the Amazon River. As an ecosystem, it is rated at the absolute maximum level of vulnerability for potential oil spills. That environmental fragility creates intense regulatory friction. The Brazilian Environmental Agency, IBAMA, rejected multiple applications and delayed the operating license for years before letting this single drill ship start work. We have already seen how rapidly that tripwire can be triggered. A recent drilling fluid leak halted operations at the site entirely. All of the missing multi-billion-dollar infrastructure must now be designed, manufactured, and installed flawlessly in some of the most environmentally scrutinized water on the planet. Combine extreme geographic isolation with maximum environmental oversight, and every basic construction task turns into a severe multi-year hurdle. 30 years of offshore history teaches a harsh lesson. Despite the immense depth and expense, sinking that initial exploratory drill bit is actually the fastest phase of the whole project. The real clock starts after the drill ship leaves. Engineers have to design, build, and lower a massive, complex web of subsea architecture thousands of meters to the ocean floor. They must fabricate and deploy floating production units, like the massive vessel seen here, to process the raw extraction above the surface. Then comes the hookup and commissioning phase. Every disparate pipe, valve, and platform is finally connected into a massive, heavily regulated operating network. Building this intricate subsea and surface architecture from absolute scratch is exactly where an entire decade of time vanishes. This timeline requires us to adjust how we evaluate breaking energy news. Look past the breathless announcements of a single drill ship registering a positive sensor log. Instead, watch the quiet, long-term progress. Track the appraisal wells to see the true volume, and follow the lengthy environmental licensing required to build the production platforms. Because in the brutal reality of deep-sea frontier exploration, the headlines always arrive first. The barrels come last.